Hi all, we're going to start answering the first set of questions. So we're going to go through the challenge 1 answers. Question number 1. What is the perimeter of the shape below? If you look at the shape, you will realize that some lengths are not visible. So the first thing I need to do is to find out this missing information. You should know that the length from A to B equals the length from C to D. Likewise, the length from E to F equals the length from G to H. This is clearly shown using the green and blue arrows. Now I have all missing information except the length from F to G. If I call this missing information X, then X should equal to the length from B to C, take away the length from D to H plus the length from A to E. And that's because if I add the length from A to E to X to the length from H to D, that should give me the same value as the length from B to C. This is clearly shown using the blue arrows. So x equals 13 take away 8. This means x equals 5 centimeter. All my lengths have been added to the shape. So let's try to find the perimeter of the shape. The best practice to find the perimeter of any shape is to mark one of the corners. From that mark, if you go round the shape and keep adding the lengths until you come back to the same mark, you should be able to find the perimeter of any shape. So I put my blue mark on the bottom left corner of my shape, and I'm going to go round the shape and add the lengths. This means my perimeter equals 4 centimeter plus 13 centimeter plus 4 centimeter plus 4 centimeter plus 2 centimeter plus 5 centimeter plus 2 centimeter and plus 4 centimeter. Now I can rearrange my numbers as 4 times 4 plus 2 times 2 plus 5 plus 13, which equals 16 plus 4 plus 13 plus 5. This means my perimeter equals 38 centimeter. Moving on to the second question. The temperature has dropped by 4 degrees since yesterday. If the temperature is now minus 3 degrees, then what was the temperature yesterday? A new video will be created to help you solve word problems around temperature. But now, let's briefly answer this question. In this question, we clearly have two temperatures. We've got the current temperature and we've got the previous temperature. So the current temperature is what we're going to call the new temperature, and the previous temperature is what we're going to call the old temperature. So in this question, we have only one missing information. This means we need only one equation to solve this problem. But let's have a look for clues first. The word dropped gives you an indication that the previous temperature was higher than the current temperature. So to make both values the same, I need to take away a temperature difference from the old temperature. This means my new temperature equals the old temperature take away the temperature difference. Remember that I'm taking away because the question clearly stated that the old temperature has dropped. So my clue in this question is the word dropped. Using abbreviations, this means T2 equals T1 taking away the temperature difference. So T2 is my new temperature, T1 is my old temperature, and delta T is the temperature difference. Clearly the question stated that the new temperature equals minus 3 degrees. This means minus 3 equals T1 taking away 4 degrees. This means my previous temperature was 1 degree Celsius. Question number 3. What is the fraction of the light colored part to the whole rectangle? The first thing you need to do before you start answering any questions about fractions is to check that all parts are identical. Clearly, in my shape, all parts are not identical. So to make them all equal in size, I need to section square number 2, square number 3, square number 4, and square number 6. So my shape should look like shape number 2 after adding the sections. Now I should be able to find the fraction of the light colored part easily by dividing the number of sections of light colored part by the number of sections of the whole rectangle. This means the fraction of light colored part equals 4 divided by 12, and that's because I have 4 sections in light color and 12 sections in total in my whole rectangle. 4 divided by 12 equals 1/3. Moving on to question number 4. George spent 40% of his money. If George had £70, then how much money does he have left? If you felt you needed assistance answering this question, then I would suggest you go through Successful Plus tutorial videos around percentages. We know that George had £70 initially. We also know that this amount was split into two groups, an amount that he spent and an amount that he saved. The question clearly stated that 40% of this amount was spent. This means 60% of this amount was saved. To find the amount of money that George had left or saved, I need to times 60% by the total amount that he had initially, which means 60% times 70. You should know that 60% equals 0.6. This means 0.6 times 70, which equals £42. This means George saved £42. Question number 5. Jack bought 4 packs of pens and 5 books. If each pack costs £1.98 and each book costs £3.99, how much money did Jack have left if he had £50? To answer this question correctly and with less mistakes, the first thing you need to do is to define the equation. Money left with Jack equals 50 take away the total cost. This also means money left with Jack equals 50 take away the cost of pens plus the cost of books. I just want to draw your attention to the brackets in the equation. You should know that we use brackets whenever we want to do certain calculation before another. In this example, I want to work out the total cost before I take the total cost away from the £50, hence why I use brackets. Now let's calculate the total cost of pens. Each pack costs £1.98p. Jack bought 4 packs. This means I either add 1.98 4 times or I use 4 times £1.98p. If you need any assistance completing this calculation quickly, then I would recommend you visit Money Word Problems playlist. Using our previous videos around money word problems, you should be able to tell that this equals £8 take away 8p, or £8 take away 0.08, which equals £7.92p. Similarly, to find the total cost of books, we either add 3.99 5 times or we use 5 times 3.99. Using the tips mentioned in Money Word Problems tutorial videos, you should know that this equals to £20 take away 5p, or 20 take away 0.05, which means the total cost of books equals £19.95p. Going back to our main equation, money left with Jack equals £50 take away £7.92 plus 19.95p. This equals £50 take away £27.87p, which means the money that Jack have got left equals £22.13p. Question number 6. Solve 2 plus 18 divided by 3 times 2 take away 4. To solve this equation correctly, we must complete the calculations in the right order. So we have to follow the order of BODMAS. B in BODMAS stands for brackets, and they take priority. O stands for others, which is usually used for square numbers or cube numbers. D stands for division, M for multiplication, A for addition, and finally S for subtraction. Now let's solve our equation. The first calculation we need to complete here is 18 divided by 3, which leaves you with 2 plus 6 times 2 take away 4. The next calculation to complete is 6 times 2, which leaves you with 2 plus 12 take away 4. Then we need to add. This means 2 plus 12 equals 14, take away 4. And finally, you need to subtract, which means the answer is 10. Question number 7. Ryan had 30 roses. If Ryan can plant up to 4 roses in each pot, then how many pots will he need to plant all 30 roses? We know that Ryan has 30 roses and a number of pots. We also know that Ryan needs to plant all 30 roses in these pots, but he can only plant up to 4 roses in each pot. This means if I times 4 by the number of pots, I should have the total number of roses. This also means 30 equals 4 times the number of pots. The question here is asking for how many pots. This means the number of pots should be a whole number. It shouldn't be a fraction or a decimal. This means you shouldn't waste time in the test going through the division. This also means the number of pots could be either 7 or 8. If Ryan selects 7 pots, then he will be able to plant 28 roses only. This means the last 2 roses will have no room to be planted. However, if Ryan selects 8 pots, this means he'll be able to plant all 30 roses. He will also have a room for another 2 roses. The number of pots needed to plant all 30 roses equals 8. Now let's move on to question number 8. If the area of an equilateral triangle is 15 centimeters square, what's the height of the triangle if its perimeter is 18 centimeters? The first thing we need to do here to answer this question is look for a clue. The word equilateral is our clue, and that's because when we say an equilateral triangle, it means all sides of the triangle are identical in size. The second thing I need to do here is write h equals onto the side of the question, and that's because the question is asking for the height of the triangle, not the length of the side. Starting with the equation of the area of a triangle should equal half times width times height. Using numbers, this means 15 equals half times s times h. Looking at this equation, I have 2 missing information. This means to solve this equation, I must find another equation. My second equation will have to be the equation of the perimeter. Now I know the perimeter of the triangle equals s plus s plus s. This means 18 equals 3s. This also means the length of the side equals 6 centimeters. Going back to the equation of the area, I can replace s by 6. This means I have only one equation and one missing information. This also means 15 equals 3h. This also means h equals 5 centimeters. Number 9. The pie chart below represents the choices of 40 students when they were asked for their favorite ice cream flavor. A. How many students chose strawberry flavor? When answering questions about pie chart, you should know that the whole circle represents the total number, and in this question it represents the number of students, which equals 40. You should notice that the representation of the strawberry segment is the quarter of the whole circle. This means the number of students who selected strawberry flavor equals to the quarter of the total number of students. So to find the number of students who selected strawberry, you need to time a quarter by the total number of students. A quarter times 40 equals 10 students selecting strawberry flavor. The second part of this question is part B. If 4 students selected mint flavor, then how many chose vanilla? What you need to be aware of is the top section of the question is relevant to both parts. This means 4 students selected mint out of 40 students in total. If you look at the section of mint and vanilla, if you add them both together, they equal a quarter of the pie chart, or a quarter of the circle. Now I know the whole circle equals 40 students. This means the quarter of the circle must equal quarter times 40, which equals 10 students. This means the number of students selecting vanilla flavor equals 10 take away the number of students selecting mint. This means 10 take away 4 equals 6 students. We have come to the end of test 1. If you felt less confident with some of the questions, then I would recommend visiting relevant tutorial videos available in this channel. If not, then you can move on to the next practice test, Challenge 2.